SESI, uma iniciativa da CNI, Confederação Nacional da Indústria, apresenta...
Where do you start when everything is wrong? You have to go right back to basics here and really address what is our mission, what is our purpose, what are we trying to do? There are three kinds of schools in Indonesia. The national school, where the national curriculum is delivered to a national population. An embassy school, so the dependents of embassy staff would attend an embassy school. And then the third category is called an SPK school, a joint cooperation school, formerly called international schools. So Green School falls into that category. The government relaxed its regulations quite some time ago that allows national population to enter into international schools. This was a big, big move. The government recognizes that it has to have a global view in this age, but is still catering to a huge population that has difficulty accessing education.
Green School, they're a big part of why and who we have become who we are today. It's like our second home, right? We've spent so much time here and it's definitely built the foundation where we stand on today.
In Green School, it's a very hands-on learning and very experiential. You learn a lot academically, but you also learn a lot practically. And I believe that the system of education here will not only make me ready for a job, but also for life.
Eu acho que sustentabilidade e natureza é uma coisa extremamente importante aqui na escola. Você escolhe sua aula, então todo mundo que está presente naquele lugar praticamente quer estar na aula. É muito difícil alguém estar naquela aula porque não quer.
Lo que yo creo que a mí me ha impactado más de este cole es la manera en que usan los estudiantes para ayudar a crear las clases. Porque las clases no están hechas solo por el profesor, pero están hechas también por el estudiante.
The classes here, I feel like I can do whatever I want, really. Whatever passions I have, I can take a class that has something to do with that. It's like a community of very like-minded people, and I feel like I really belong here as well. It's like a giant family.
Bali is the island of my dreams and the island of many dreams. And so I thought, let's do a school of dreams. If your dream is a concrete box and a school teacher who speaks in a way that if you don't know the answer, you will fail, and a dream of having your child work for a multinational, it's the wrong school. If you have other dreams for your children, if you want your children to develop as whole people, if you want your children to change the world, if you want your children to be happy, Green School is your place. Diversity in the school was a challenge. So I said 20%. We want 20% Balinese kids, local kids. And we're at about 11%, but we also have certain Balinese and Indonesians making the decision to put their kid in the school. So our diversity is growing. We have almost 40 countries represented at Green School. We have kids from Brazil, we have kids from everywhere. And that diversity is really, really important.
The school opened in 2008, and the local population, the first student enrollment, had mainly been attracted to Green School from other international schools in Bali. We were able to attract, therefore, to this very different form of school, some international students, around 100, who were willing to try something different. And what is the innovation here? I guess I would say that we're developing a passion in young people for sustainability of the world. To see these change makers talking about, doing things about, influencing the future of this world, this planet, is quite remarkable.
Green School was founded on the concept that we would be a community-based school. And the community would have multiple elements, but the most important element that we would be deeply connected to the Balinese culture. And then, of course, our international community. And then if you can see, and you've seen where we are, we're also deeply connected to nature. I mean, we're very much, in a sense, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the jungle. So that our community is our environment, our community is the people that are here, and the community is also the culture that surrounds us.
The school itself, at 10 years old, is growing and learning and evolving. And one thing that has always been at the heart of the school through the years and will continue is the sense of community that's here. And the school, by design and intention, supports that and nurtures that from the way the campus is designed, the beautiful heart of school building itself, with spaces where we can sit and connect and socialize and learn from each other.
It's really intentional that our campus is full of little ecosystems and that we're out in the gardens all the time so that students from a very young age really see the beauty of nature and really start seeing the connections to it. So it's really intentional in our learning program to get our students interacting with nature from a very early age so that they develop that awestruck beauty, magic of nature, and then when it's something they love, it's something they'll grow to want to protect. So we see a lot of impact in the way it's affected their lives to become more personally sustainable and more socially and environmentally conscious. So that has been wonderful. We've seen impacts on the community, on the island quite a bit. So the whole environmental and socially conscious movements on this island have grown quite a bit because of this school.
I love thinking of Green School as a system. And of course we have that tribe of students, the 440, 450 students that are enrolled full-time are at the very heart and come first. But around those students, we also have educators that come from all corners of the globe at Green School. We have visitors, 12,000 people just come to visit the school. And so we love the idea of thinking of the school as a whole system and then creating touch points within that so that we can connect with each other while preserving the core student body and their learning and respecting that at all times.
The Green School curriculum is actually everything we do inside and outside of the classroom. But the taught components and the experienced components are the ones that are hardest to put down on paper, but actually incredibly special to the experience of a Green School student. So it is how they learn. At the baseline of our curriculum is that students need to be happy coming to school, and they need to be really comfortable being themselves at school. And if that baseline isn't there, then none of that other learning happens. I can't hand you the Green School curriculum and say, here is the Green School. I think you have to come here, you have to live it, you have to feel it, you have to see how it's implemented. And that really comes down to the how of how we do that.
If we do one thing very well, it's being flexible. Yeah, kids get to choose their own classes, but that comes with the responsibility of knowing what is right for them now and what they are looking to get out of their education in the future.
The students here, and the teachers even more so, are encouraged to follow their own pathways in terms of their passions, and our structures for learning, our curriculum and our pedagogy are very student-centered. So the students actually can kind of design their own programs, especially in the high school, to fit their pathway. So one of my favorite things to do is to work with other teachers on developing the curriculum. And for that reason, it evolves. And I think that's one of the Green School principles, that we are in flux and we are evolving, and we're always looking to new strategies.
We look to keep our learning real, we call it, right? So keep it as real-world focused as possible. So make sure that that connects to the student in a kinesthetic way. They're using their hands, they're using their feet, they're action-oriented, but also intellectually. They have to think about it, think critically, think creatively, intrapersonally, like what does this mean to me? How does it affect me, my family, my friends, my community? And then emotionally, like the artistic aspect of it as well.
Data, and then you have upper and lower quartile and median. So, what is the smallest data?
Wait, what is it? 9 point something?
The location? 9.75.
O que eu acho que a escola implementa bastante é liberdade. É mais focado no estudante do que a aula.
So where how we know the number is based on your data. That's why I'm asking you before what is the minimum and the maximum data.
Aqui na escola é livre. As paredes deixam você sentindo que não é uma jaula, você não está preso ali.
Is equal to A plus N subtract 1D.
Eu acho muito bom você sentar num lugar onde se sente aberto. Você vê as coisas em volta, você não tá fechado num cubo.
The different from this is 3 and the different from this is 3, so we know the D is 3.
Yeah. Eu acho que eu aprendo muito mais fazendo do que realmente sentando numa cadeira, ouvindo, e no fim só fazer um teste. Então, você não aprende só uma matéria, você aprende coisas mais sobre a vida e tudo mais.
The metaphor, you know, of having no walls in the classroom, that's basically the freedom we have. It's like, however far you want to go, you can go. You basically can do any project you want, anything that you may be interested in, and there is that support for you always. And it's mostly about environmental sustainability, because that's what the world really needs right now. And you find here that once you're surrounded by nature, more people care about it, because outside this bamboo bubble, that's not the reality. So you're basically in an environment where you're encouraged to make every other place like Green School.
We know that the constant coefficient rule is something that we're going to use as well. And everybody remembers that that rule just says that whenever you have a constant, a coefficient, a number that's sitting in front of the function, you're going to pull that out, okay?
Do we have to do 12 to 2 and then a 1 to 3 and 2 to 4?
12 to 2.
Like, do we have to do a bunch of them because it says more than 2, but it could be any of the 2, it could be any of the 3 hours?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Green School is a really unique place where the walls are down in the classroom, but it's a metaphor for the relationships that exist at Green School as well. So there's really no walls, or we try and get those barriers down. Kids call us by first names, and we often know there's an intimacy with the families. So I think about each kid as a family member and getting to know them that way. And chop.
The philosophy behind Green School, it's pretty multifaceted, but when it comes down to it, was to create a community of learners that are focused on making our world sustainable. And to take the traditional model of a school and of a classroom that is a little boxed in and separated from the outside world and get rid of those walls in order to connect our students to the communities around them in real-world projects with a real focus on understanding the principles of sustainability so that our students can be a part right now of solutions to some of our unsustainable problems in the world or in their own communities or even in their own classroom, but to really take those principles of sustainability and apply them in real-world projects and give that learning journey back over to the student. Green School is in a wonderful little location, but most of the people live a good 20, 30 minutes from it. So there's a lot of cars driving to campus every day, a lot of them with 1 or 2 students. So the students said, hey, we should start a bus service. So we rented a bus, and we were lucky enough to have a parent in our community that was a diesel mechanic. The students talking to him said, why can't we make these buses biodiesel? And we said, well, we can.
The BioBus is a student-run initiative. Their main goal is to reduce CO2 emissions at our school. And they decided to take action to that and to convert the used cooking oil into fuel that is 80% less toxic emission from their buses.
The Jalan, which translates to adventure, going out. It can be something that's physically active, or it can be something that's more mentally or maybe even spiritually active for kids. Is something that we've been doing with the BioBus now. Actually, the BioBus started in a Jalan. One thing that we always do is collect used cooking oil, because that's part of the backbone of our program. We have to collect used cooking oil so it can be made into biodiesel for our buses.
On Wednesdays, we go completely off timetable. We take a huge chunk of time and create programming that comes from the students' interest, comes from teachers' interest, comes from local needs. And it is really the hallmark. It's the cornerstone of our experiential program.
As you may know that in Bali, especially in tourist destination or in the big city, used cooking oil is a big thing. It is produced daily and regularly by either restaurant, hotel, even actually also by our home. How if cooking oil is processed into biodiesel? More safe to environment, cleaner. Is there any idea what thing that you can do with your community in Green School to solve this challenge?
For Green School itself, we should probably work on having like our own kitchens and our own, like, within Green School to give our used cooking oil to BioBus.
Yeah. Jalan, a group of us educators fought really hard to implement that program a while back, and it's really focused on our experiential aspect of our program, getting our kids out into the communities, out away from siloed 1 hour here, 1 hour there, and diving in deeper, rolling up your sleeves to different topics, right? And we have 3 broad categories within our Jalan. One of them is outdoor ed, so getting our students certified for scuba diving, bike riding, trail making, all these kinds of things. And then another one is enterprise, which is kind of broad for entrepreneurial learning, and then service-oriented. What can we do to give back to our community? So those 3, service, enterprise, outdoor ed, encompass our Jalan program.
The magic of the trash bucket is the spear. It's active. Not many people want to touch it, but spearing it, everybody wants to do. So we started walking. For 40 years we walked, and when we were walking 40 years ago, there wasn't any trash. And then we saw more and more trash, and we started picking it up, and then we'd find a bag and fill the bag. Crazy people have come on the trash walk. Sane people have come on the trash walk. We've had trash walks with 3 Chinese billionaires, all on the same day. We had an 84-year-old Japanese lady who came on the trash walk and filled her bag. So the trash walk works in many, many ways. Different people come every day. I mean, incredible people. But my particular trick, if you want to meet me and you don't want to come on a trash walk, I'm busy.
Not what? Right.
Having children learn through projects, through applying what they're learning to real-life situations and real-life projects that make a difference in the world is very impactful and very empowering for the students. They're experiencing the learning intellectually, but also emotionally, socially, in their hearts and with their hands. And we love that. Wherever it makes sense to learn this way, this is what we embrace.
We're sisters and the founders of Buy My Plastic Bags, which today is an official NGO driven by young people on the island of Bali to say no to single-use plastic bags. And we were born and raised on the island of Bali, and for the past 10 years, so since day one, a Green School student. When we started this at 10 and 12 years old, we had absolutely no business plan, but just the vision solely to get our island plastic bag free. And now that the movement has expanded to a global level where we have over 17 different groups around the world, we've realized that around the world, our message is to say no to plastic bags, just making that difference one bag at a time. As young people, it was so amazing to feel and hear the constant support we were getting, not only on a national and, island-wide level, but also internationally all around the world, because it really shows that people are beginning to listen and wanting to hear the voices of the youth, the different messages we carry. And I think as a young person, that was super empowering and super motivational for us to keep going and understand that what we are doing is really important. But yeah, super cool. That's a really good job. I didn't think of it, but you guys are ahead, so awesome.
The best thing that we did was give these young ladies a platform to run with their dream. And it was their dream, and it was their idea, and it was incubated quite a bit even before they brought it to us, but said, hey, we have this idea, and we want to get rid of plastic bags on Bali, and we've got a plan. And so we were smart enough to say, wow, that's brilliant. Let's give you some room in our program to do just that and help you as much as we can. And so that's where I think the beauty of our learning program comes, is that we give that power to the students. And we say, you have something you want to run with, let us help you. Let us provide some framework so you can use your school day, your learning journey as part of this process.
That sense of freedom within your own education allows the student to really take leadership and really grab onto the education that they want to leave. So education is changing and it's shifting, and I really think that Green School is providing that organic platform for students to really be a part of that change. What we did, we've established the part 1, part 2, part 3. So what we're gonna do now before lunchtime is actually replicate and redo and take new footage and actually film it again by doing step 1, step 2, step 3. So it's the folding, it's the stitching, it's the bottles. So we actually need the groups focusing on that. Even though you don't have your scripts ready, you can still get the footage. And we have Puck Adrian here today who can help with the filming and kind of give directions on how it can look nice.
I'm gonna give you 2 cameras. One is fairly easy to use, like a phone, and the other one is slightly bigger, right? Decide who's going to be the who's going to be the camera guy or girl. But it doesn't matter, you can just take turns, because this is not what it's all about. This is not a filmmaking class.
So perfect. Who is part 2 and part 3? Part 2, who's part 3? Part 3 and part 2. Okay, so girls, what you need to do now is get the material. We have the net somewhere here. So now I think maybe getting bottles and the materials that you need, right? Actually doing the whole process so that you can film all of that, of poking the holes, putting the rocks into the bottles, using the bottle caps.
Green School stimulates learning in creative and innovative ways in so many different ways. But one thing I will focus on that I think is really special is we really value the arts. As much as we value math time, instead of that being the afterthought, creative endeavors, making projects, putting time into that, it actually comes in on an equal basis to other more traditional subjects. And I think that's incredibly important to a holistic and well-rounded individual, as well as how you learn and how you creatively learn, but also touching base with all the different kinds of students that you have and all the different kinds of learners that you have.
I work in both the practical and the visual arts, and so we combine a lot of hands-on experiential learning, and we try to do most of our projects as something that's either personal or community-based. So the class that I'm teaching right now is a more advanced studio class. It's towards the end of the year. We've worked a lot together, so they take all of their ideas and things that they still want to learn that they haven't done in other classes, and they propose a project that will give them the experience where they'll get to do it. Keep in mind, as you get into an area, once you put information down here, you can take out the line because you have a mark now. In a sense, you could even play with this idea of glyphs, you know, or making shapes or something with the bodies.
There's no places in Bali that sell the type of wood, I think, for this.
What about the places like on the Sian Road where they make all those giant slab tables? And they have this huge...
Those are made with like Kalimantan wood, but it's very hard to work with.
Estando aquí me ha ayudado a mí a participar en muchos proyectos y también tener diferentes experiencias, no solo con la naturaleza, como estamos en un cole que está tan integrado con la naturaleza, pero también en cosas que tienen mucha tecnología, porque aquí me parece a mí que no solo usan la tecnología y la naturaleza, pero en serio las incorporan todos juntos dentro del aprendizaje de los estudiantes. Eso me parece a mí muy importante.
We have an innovation hub, a makerspace that is really fun because it's outside the traditional model of makerspaces and hubs. It is in the jungle, and it is using some very fancy equipment, but it is also making sure that we just get out our hammer and nails and try to put some stuff together.
The only problem is we have the G code, which is the right size.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much we spend in that.
Was it like 85?
I think so, but I just don't really know.
You need them to be the exact same size?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you get the piece you got and measure it, and then we'll scale
We don't
it.
have it, Eti does, and he didn't bring his models to school.
Let's check first what the resolution is, because I don't know if it's going to come
Okay,
out.
oh yeah, there's a
Like
tiny
this part is not going to work. We can try again. Let's try again. Looks good?
Yep.
One of the most ambitious projects that the school has taken on has been around renewable energy. And this has been the most community-wide project. So the children, in fact, went and pitched to some companies, some corporates to say, can you help us? Give us some pieces of equipment to help expand our solar energy capacity, as well as new micro-hydro elements. So the students named the project Operation Rain or Shine, with the idea being that at all times, this school can be powered by clean, reliable, renewable energy.
So we have to put it in the right place.
So that goes to landfill.
Yeah, plastic cup.
So it goes to landfill.
Yeah, there are a lot of
bad carbon.
Right.
Yeah, landfill. More landfill. I have been a volunteer with Bali since pretty much it started. My role in the beginning was more of the everyday operation, but now we're trying to empower local Indonesian interns and staff to to take this education out into the local community. So it's important that they run the show, and then I'm just there to guide them. You know, every time somebody looks in one of these bags, if everything is not the right way, it's not gonna get separated properly.
Yeah,
So.
so We need to make it in right.
Gotta make it right. So in the beginning, it would just be our community within Green School. Parents, teachers, the staff would be bringing their recycling in. But we've tried to reach out into the local community. And so our latest data shows that we have quite a number of local people that are using the recycle center.
This is not supposed to be here. That's right.
The first step for us was to actually get families involved in just sorting their waste. Because then if you have your child that has to come and sort their own waste, they have that connection between their waste and what they're consuming and the environment. We love having parents involved with the school. Many schools, many educators talk about parents being partners in their child's learning journey. And at the school, we really want to encourage that and support that in practical ways. And then the fact that parents are welcome to be on the campus also is a big part of how we build community. It's not the kind of school where you drop your children at the gate and keep going. If you have time, then come to campus. We love having parents on campus.
Parents are on campus all day long. So, you know, some people say that's a good thing and a bad thing. But I think ultimately it's really important because it is a community of learners. So the idea is that we don't just segregate the kids and ship them off during the day. Everybody's learning. I think I've learned more in the last 3 or 4 years in particular than I've learned any time in my life. And a lot of that's because I'm surrounded by people that are like taking yoga classes or having meetups on intellectual subjects or working on sustainability for their homes or working with the kids on entrepreneurship projects or energy projects. So the parents are involved in all these things. A lot of them happen on campus or off campus, but within the community. So it's really fantastic that there's plenty of opportunities to engage. I mean, far more than I think you'd find in a normal school.
A maioria dos pais vem por causa da escola, vem para trazer os filhos para ter essa oportunidade de viver. Eu acho que não existe nenhuma outra em outro lugar do mundo que chegue perto do que a Green School proporciona para as nossas crianças. Assim, eu agradeço todos os dias de ter tido essa oportunidade, da minha filha estar aqui. É uma escola super interativa, aberta, né? Então a gente tem total liberdade de conviver ali dentro da escola. Bastante mesmo. Se o pai quiser, ele se envolve 100% com a escola.
Right now, we are sitting in a place called Student Village, and it was developed in the original model to be housing for families and for teachers. So this has gone through some transformation. So we spent a long time in the Student Village as a boarding house for students whose parents were not able to be in Bali.
A boarding é um programa onde os alunos vêm estudar aqui na escola, mas sem os pais. Então foi um período meio de adaptação, mas ao mesmo tempo é muito bom, porque você chega lá, você tá toda hora com todo mundo, tem umas pessoas muito legais em volta. Se você precisa de ajuda, é uma família, sabe?
A vila parece bastante que nem a escola, bem aberta, assim, não tem parede na maioria das casas e não tem porta. E a coisa que eu acho mais legal da vila é ficar falando com as crianças mais velhas, porque eu só tenho 13 anos, a maioria delas estão tipo 16, 15, 17 até. E é legal, porque eu aprendo dos erros deles e não dos meus.
Transition. We're all going from 2 into the running, okay? Let's just do 2 rounds. 1, 2, here we go. Can you play me that the donka-dee-ka-doo-doo. So your last one is...
Oh, so the first round I don't do the response.
No, don't do the first one.
Oh,
Don't
that's
worry
why I
about
said
it. So
wrong.
we've got... That's your last note? Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. All right, good. 1, 2, 8, and...
Cocoa Connection is really our effort to make good on Green School's mission statement to be a community of learners making our world sustainable. It's really about determining what this community is and extending this community of learners the boundaries beyond just the campus of Green School. We're in Bali. It's a unique place, traditional culture, and there's a lot of wisdom locally that we need to draw from so that it becomes much less about us and them and much more about us tackling this issue of sustainability as a united community. So you just said that you've got 6 screens at home? And how many pieces of paper have you made already?
I've already made 10 papers.
10 papers.
And I'm already to try it at home now.
So if I needed more, how long do I need to order? Like how long does it take you to make that many sheets?
Oh, it will just for 5 days.
5 days?
Yeah.
So you cut down the banana tree yourself?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
You go in there with an axe and cutting down the tree?
Yeah, because it's, behind my home is a lot of banana tree.
Wow. So you cut it down, that's because the tree has to come down for the new banana to come, right?
Yeah, right.
Wow. Green School is, this international learning environment is not necessarily the best thing for every local kid. We recognize that. A lot of local kids are better off staying in their local schools. But we still want them to be here and to be involved in our campus activities. So through a process of a couple years, when we first started Cocoa Connection, we went around the community and asked them, what could we do to make Green School a shining asset to your community? And they told us, teach our kids English. Everybody said that. So we teach them English, but we also invite them to participate in all of our, sports activities, performing arts, activism, initiatives, social enterprises, etc. Wherever there's some learning to be done, especially in extracurricular activities, we want Balinese representation at the school.
Yeah, I think we should put this away, aside. And then we can start with the candles. What color are you gonna choose for the first layer or for the first candle?
Purple?
You already put the essential oil in, right? Yeah. You can do it.
You know?
So you want one candle this purple. Do you want another one to be blue? Or you want to still work with layers?
Yeah.
So you're gonna make every candle different color, or you're gonna work with the layers?
These two is like with different color.
Yeah.
And the rest is like layer by
They're
layer.
layers. So maybe you can make a third one. Then you have 3 colors already. It's hardening.
I'm pretty active with the sports of the activities at Green School. So I love very much sports. I play football, basketball, volleyball. I also teach an after-school activity at Green School, which is I teach martial arts. Everybody say Om. Om Swasti. Swasti. Astu. Astu. Om Swastiastu. Om Swastiastu. Sirbo. Sirbo. Has. 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 Piok. Piok. Sir. Sir. Siaga wasa. Kuda-kuda. Baris. Eagle. Dancing. It's called Mapantigan, mixed martial art. Focuses on not only fighting or to win, but also self-defense, self-discipline, self-confidence, but also connected to nature at the same time in the mud. Mapantigan has been here since 2008. We are part of the middle school curriculum for the sports also. So some middle schoolers, they get to choose what sports they want to do, and they choose martial arts in the mud. It's a colorful martial art combination and combining many things. The goal is to build self-confidence and self-discipline through martial arts.
Quest é um projeto de paixão que é super importante, é meio um jeito que você gradua do 8º ano. O meu Quest, eu vou pegar um monte de tampa de garrafa plástica e fazer uma quilha de surf. Eu tô pegando uma coisa que veio do mar, fazendo ela uma coisa nova, virando ela uma coisa nova, útil pra mim, e meio que trazendo ela de volta pro mar pra eu usar. Que eu acho meio um sistema bem legal. Normalmente uma quilha é feita de ou plástico ou resina, alguma coisa assim que, velho, você pensar, tem muitas coisas erradas com isso. Eu vou pegar uma coisa que ninguém mais vai usar e usar pra fazer quilha. E quilha é uma coisa que surfista usa muito. E surfista toda hora tá vendo no mar esses plásticos e eles não estão fazendo nada sobre isso. Eles olham e falam, ai, nossa, deve ser culpa dos caras que jogaram do rio. Só que eles estão fazendo para ajudar? The more colorful, the better. So it looks nice. So what I want to do is I want to 3D print my fin that I want, the size I want, the style I want. And then use that to make a mold.
Oh, molded, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna use the mold. I'm gonna take this plastic, right, and put it into the mold with because that thing melts it, right?
Yeah.
Over there, and I'm gonna inject it into the mold. And hopefully it works. Yeah, I think this is enough. Yeah, this is good. And then I'll clean them probably soon, as soon as I can get. And then I'll bring you home.
Yeah.
So I've got all the measurements, all the scientific stuff, all the stuff I need to know to get the project done.
So how are you going to turn the bottle caps into a surf fin? Like, I understand melting it down, but is it a mold? Like what kind, or carving? How do you do that?
The process is basically, first you take the bottle caps, you gotta make sure they're clean, or else it's not gonna work. It's gonna interfere with like the melting process and the shredding process. So I took some bottle caps, I cleaned them by hand, and first you go through a shredding process. After you shred the bottle caps, they get into this really small pieces, and the small pieces, they can go into this machine that basically sucks them up, melts them, and you put it into the mold, and it should, if you leave it, you know, make everything right, you should have a plastic fin, and it's gonna also be colorful because many different types of bottle caps, you know, many different colors, like different, I don't know.
Sure, you can get red or blue or whatever color the bottle cap is.
I have 2 or 3 things that I say to kids. One isn't very popular. I say to kids, go home and ask Mommy and Daddy what they did today to make the world a better place for you. And that gets me into trouble. The other thing I say to kids is, don't become an anything, because there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of anythings out there. It's not about getting a job. It's about making jobs that make the world a better place, and that's key. So what we are is we're a green leader vortex. We're creating green leaders. And so when those kids become leaders, it's not going to be a question about where we're going. We're going to a place that makes the earth a better place.
Uma parceria SESI, uma iniciativa da CNI, Confederação Nacional da Indústria.